Well, David,
I didn't even know we were on. I need a makeup lady. I need.
these two guys were coming from the pudding at CUPGRA.
What's on your rider?
I just been nobbled as well, Mark. Don't worry.
Mark, introduce Branston. So many people know about Branston, but we also have an international audience. Tell us about Branston, please. The success that Branston is.
Okay, Branston is the leading UK packer and increasingly processor of potatoes, actually for retail. We also have a seed business and supply Tesco in the UK.
Yeah, okay. And the processing side is very interesting. You think of Geest as was, now Bakkavor, how they got into the processing side, and they got some sort of 42 different business units. And there's other produce companies looking at the processing side, but also there's a litany of companies that haven't made it in processing. But you guys seem to be making a really good fist of the processing side, David. Would that be correct?
Yeah. Well, we decided, over 10 years ago there was limited growth within the fresh retail sector, and we had to move into particularly the chilled aisle, and we had to improve crop utilisation within our factory. A lot of those waste potatoes were going into these other streams, and why not keep them to ourselves and get the value out of them?
I think that's the key thing. I think it's about using the whole crop.
Yeah.
Very important for sustainability, very important for UK growers. And when you're in a long-term relationship with a retail partner, you can invest in a piece of kit that's going to process all the seconds for you in a way that's going to make really good use of them.
And again, that's been one of the successes of Branston, that you do have that long-term relationship with a key retailers, and that's quite unusual. Have you got any advice to other companies, whether they be in the UK or internationally, as to how you create that collaborative relationship with retailers?
I think you've got to be excellent at the day job in terms of cost, quality, delivery for long enough to build that trust-based relationship. And then, as ever in any business, it's all about people. And we've been fortunate enough, or skillful enough, depending on the way you look at it, to be able to recruit and retain some really good people in all the key departments.
Well done. And you've been all over the press this week with a very flash, very nice new lorry. So we can see your. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what's the goals of Branston in the respect of CUPGRA? We're talking about net zero and sustainability. With Branston, what was the point of that lorry? And where are you going with net zero? Go on, David, you take that one.
Well, we've obviously been doing a lot of work over many years over carbon footprinting of our operations and also the operations on farm. One of the biggest users of energy was the whole area logistics. Obviously, electric lorries, rechargeable on site. We've introduced those with a potential for using them for relatively short haul deliveries. But potentially we could be using this for collecting off-farm potatoes, and starting to have a dramatic impact on what is for the company a massive element of our footprint.
For me, David, it's all about going back to the customers. So our end customers are expecting us in the agriculture industry to be getting on with net zero, and in fact, time and time again, research shows that second only to the cost of living crisis is the climate crisis. And so all the global brands and our main customer in particular has been at the forefront of signing up to Science-Based Target Initiative, which we've signed up to as a tier 1 supplier, which is quite onerous. It means the reduction in carbon has to be real, not offsetting. It means you've got to have a plan not just for within your own operation, scope 1, 2, but also a plan for up and down the supply chain and scope 3. And you've got to go public on your targets. So we've been working for 3 years now, working towards committing and now submitting our SBTI data, which means we absolutely have to be active in the growing part, which is more than a quarter of all of our scope 3 emissions.
Okay, but you're creating sort of societal change within your sector, because everyone's going to follow you. The fact that you've done this, you're going to be you're change leaders in what you're doing. You want to progress, and so other people, whether it be the growers or other retailers, presumably are going to take that on and look to follow you.
I wouldn't say we're particularly leading, but we're just trying to get on with it, because I think there's a lot of talk about it, but when you measure the data and really understand it, there are some very big levers. For example, nitrogen-based fertiliser is a full third of all growing costs, of all growing costs in terms of carbon anyway. So we have to be active in that environment, and we tend to get involved in Scope 3 where the change wouldn't happen by accident. And hence our work which David's been leading on low carbon fertilisers.
Okay, well done. And guys, just to wrap up, CUPGRA, why are you here? Why do you find it beneficial to you, David?
Well, for me, it's been a really good platform to learn what the most recent advances, particularly in genetics, plant breeding, gene editing, etc. yesterday, and learn about some of the new research going on by PhD students within this department, but also elsewhere. It's been a brilliant forum for networking as well.
So you heavily recommend that people should be involved, whether it be the conference or CUPGRA as an organisation, that people should join.
Definitely, yeah. It has been one. I've been to several of these conferences, and this, I must admit, this has been one of the best events that I've attended. Yeah.
David, Mark, thank you very much, and all the best for the future of Branston.
No worries.
Thank you.